Hello everyone, welcome back to Atreyu Crochet, home of crochet for beginners. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to crochet an easy ponytail beanie. So if you are interested in staying warm while sporting a ponytail, then this is the crochet tutorial for you. Things you will need include 2 elastic bands, one this size and then a larger one. You're going to need a crochet hook, size 9mm, and that is US. You're going to need a pair of scissors, a darning needle, tapestry needle, weaving needle. It goes by many names. You're going to need a tape measure, and it doesn't have to be a turtle, but a tape measure nonetheless. And then you're going to need some yarn. So for today, I'm going to be using Lion brand yarns, Hometown USA. This is a bulky yarn, super bulky actually. It's a 6. And also, I'm going to be using this Bernat Softy Baby Chunky, okay? In actuality, you only need one of these balls, but because I'm using 2 colors in my Ponytail Beanie, this Messy Bun Beanie, I have 2 skeins. So if you're just going to make a solid color, then you only need one of these. Let's get to the tutorial. Alright, so we're going to start with this yarn, and we have our elastic band. What we're going to do is just stick it through the hole like that, and we're going to tie a few knots. So 1, let's tie another one, 2, let's tie one more, 3. Alright. This tail right here, we're going to lay that along the elastic band and we're going to crochet over it. But first we need a loop, and we need to get the yarn onto our crochet hook. So what we're going to do is stick our crochet hook through the elastic band, yarn over, pull through to the front. We have one loop on our crochet hook. We're going to yarn over and then chain 1. Now we're good to go. Alright, so now we're going to make 30 single crochets. So we're going to go into the loop, into that hole, and like I said, lay this tail along, like on top of the elastic band, so we can crochet over it. Yarn over, pull through to the front. We have 2 loops. Yarn over, go through 2. 1 and 2. That's 1 single crochet. Let's do it again. Into the hole, yarn over, pull through to the front. 2 loops on our crochet hook, yarn over, go through 2. 1, 2. That's 2 single crochets, and just keep working it. That's 3 single crochets. Into the hole, yarn over, pull through to the front, 2 loops, yarn over, go through 2. That's 4 single crochets. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Continue putting single crochets around, and I will meet you once you get 30. Alright guys, so this is what it's going to look like once you've gotten all of your 30 single crochets put onto that elastic band. And while you were crocheting around here, you might have noticed that you were forced to crochet over the initial set of knots that you made. So that's exactly what I wanted as well, so that you could cover that eyesore. And now for the second round, what we're going to do is slip stitch into this very first single crochet that we made for round 1. So we'll go into the top of it like that and put a slip stitch. So yarn over and then go all the way through. We're going to chain 1, and in that same space right there where you can see my finger poking through, that's where we're going to put our first single crochet. Okay, so that chain 1 that we just made, that will not count. It's just to get us up to the next level. However, this first single crochet does count. So now we're going to go in each of these single crochets of round 1 and put 1 single crochet. So just go around putting 1 single crochet in every single crochet of the round below. And you should have 30 single crochets by the time you get back here. I will meet you there. Alright, so I am almost at the end of round 2, and I just wanted to get back on to caution you to make sure that you're not missing any single crochets. Remember, you should have a total of 30 at the end of this round. So they're kind of bunched up because there's so many in there. So you might think that this is the next one right here. But look, if you pay attention to where your last single crochet occurred, you can see that that's the next one. So that's where you're going to go in and create your single crochet. Okay? And then there, that's where your 30th or your final single crochet goes. Okay? So round 2 was not an increase round. We just put 1 single crochet in to every stitch, which is why we maintain 30 stitches. Now we're going to slip stitch into that first single crochet, so we're going to bypass that chain 1. Remember, I told you that it doesn't really count for anything anyway. Okay, so slip stitch, chain 1 up, and then in that same place where we slip stitch, that's where we're going to put our first single crochet. And now we're on round 3. Round 3 will be an increase round. So we're going to increase after every 4 stitches. So that's 1 stitch in the next one. That's 2. 1 stitch in the next one. That's 3. 1 stitch in the next one. That's 4. And then we're going to put 2 stitches in the next one. So it's 1 and then back in there. That's 2. And now we're going to repeat the pattern. So it was 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2. Now we're going to repeat the pattern. Remember, pay attention to where you should be entering. So this is the next one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and that means now this one will get 2. 1, and then back in there. It's going to put 2. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, and just continue around until we get to the end of this row. Alright, so I'm at the last stitch of this row, and it happens to be the 2, so the stitch where I put 2 single crochets into it. So there's 1, and then back in there put 2. And you can really easily identify where your 2s are, meaning where you increase, because there's kind of a point, right? So there's 1, so 1, there's 2, I increased there, there's 3, I increased there, there's 4, I increased there, there's 5, and I increased there, there's 6, and I already counted that one. So I increased 6 times, so that means that I put an extra stitch in round 3 6 times, so that's 6 extra stitches, which means I should have a total of 36 stitches. Alright, moving on to round 4, we're going to slip stitch into that first single crochet there. So bypass that chain 1, which is there, and just go directly into the slip stitch. Pull through, chain 1, And then right there where we slip stitch, we're going to go back in there and put our first single crochet. And for this row, we're going to do 5 consecutive single crochets, and then we're going to increase. Okay, so that's 1, that's 2, that's 3, that's 4, and then this is 5. So that means now that we've gotten our 5, and this next one we're going to put 2. That's where we're going to increase. And because we're putting 2 stitches in there, it's going to make a little point. Alright, now we will repeat the pattern. So we're doing 5 this row, around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in the next one, I put 2. 1, and back in there, 2. You see it creates a little point. So 2 points so far, that one and that one. Okay, so just continue on around. After every 5 consecutive single crochets, put 2 in that next one, and I'll meet you back here. Once again, I'm at my last stitch, and that happens to be where I'm supposed to put my 2, so it ends on the 2 as it should. Alright, and now I'm going to bypass that initial chain 1 and do a slip stitch right into that first single crochet. Now I'm going to chain 1, and right where I slip stitch, I'm going to put my first single crochet. We have one more round of increase, people. So in the last round we did 5 consecutive single crochets, and then in the next one we did 2. In the previous round before that one we did 4 consecutive single crochets, and then in the next one we put 2 single crochets. So it was 4, and then 5, and now for this one we're going to do 6. So that's 1, that's 2, that's 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now that we've gotten our 6 consecutive single crochets, in this next one we're going to put 2. And then we're going to repeat the pattern. So 6 more consecutive single crochets, and then in the one thereafter 2. I will meet you back around here at this last stitch where you should be putting 2. Alright, I am at my last stitch right there, and it happens to be that 7th stitch after the 6 consecutive, so it's do 2 single crochets, which I'm giving it. And now we're going to bypass that chain 1 like we always do and slip stitch directly into the single crochet there. So yarn over and pull all the way through. Chain 1, and in that same place that we just slip stitch, we're going to go in and put a single crochet. Okay, so if you're wondering how many stitches you should have now, well, let's think about it. We had 30, and then we had an increase round, so that took us to 36. Okay, so we did 3 increase rounds, so that's 36, and then we did another increase round adding 6 more stitches, so that's 42, and then we did a 3rd increase round, which is the one we just completed, and that takes us to 48 stitches. Okay, so you should have 48 stitches now, and at this point we're done increasing. Yay! So all you need to do is just put 1 single crochet in each single crochet of the round below. Okay, we're going to do this for several rounds and you're going to notice that this is going to start to curve on you. So right now it's kind of looking like that, but now that we're done increasing, as we just put one stitch around, this is going to round out and it's going to start to curve. Once you get it to a length where you feel you want it to, fit on your head or on the head of the person, whoever you're making this for, then you can stop. I'm thinking maybe 6 inches from here out, but we shall see. So just continue putting round after round after round, but only putting one single crochet in every single crochet of the round below. We're done increasing, okay? Alright, you guys, so this is what my beanie is looking like so far. Here's the opening, and I'm going to turn it on its side, fold it in half, and then I'm going to measure. Alright, you guys, so this is what it's looking like right now, and as you can see, it is about 7 inches in length. I want to go a little bit longer, but remember I have the black and I want to add a little splash of a different color in this beanie, this ponytail beanie. So yeah, stay tuned and watch what I do with that black. Alright, so I'm at the end of this row and I was just about to slip stitch. So let me show you. This is that chain one at the beginning, and that's the first single crochet of that round. So I'm going to insert my hook in there like that, into that first single crochet. Now with this black, I'm going to hook it onto the crochet hook and then slip stitch with the black. Now I'm going to pull on the turquoise, and just as I would any other time, I'm going to chain one, and then in the same place where I slip stitch, that's where I'm going to put my first single crochet. But I'm going to crochet over this tail so I don't have to weave it in later. So just lay that on top like that. Alright, now let's go into that same space that we slip stitched into. Put our crochet hook in there. Lay that tail on top. Yarn over. Pull through 2 loops. Yarn over. Go through 2. Okay? And then the next single crochet, we'll do the same thing. Yarn over, pull through to the front, yarn over, go through 2, crocheting over that tail. So I'm just landing it on top, and I'm going into the single crochets as normal. And then that way we don't have to worry about weaving it in later. Okay, so I'm just gonna go around putting one single crochet into every single crochet of the round below, and I'll meet you once we get back around here. Alright, so we're back around, and now it's time to switch back to the turquoise. And by the way, yes, we did not, I guess I should say no, we did not cut the yarn, the turquoise yarn, because I knew we were going to go back to it. It was just kind of left hanging there, if you're wondering that. Alright, so we are going to slip stitch. So here's that chain one. We'll slip stitch into the first single crochet there. I know it's hard to see with the black, but don't worry, we're almost done with it. And we're going to grab the turquoise now, yarn over, and now we'll complete that slip stitch. So go through like that. You can pull on the black to make that hole a little bit tighter, just in case it was getting big, and then just slip stitch all the way through. Alright, and then you can also pull on that and then chain one like normal. Alright, now for the black yarn, we're going to cut it and we're going to crochet over that. So before I start to crochet over that tail, I want to tie a knot. I just feel better tying a knot with the tail and the working yarn. So I'm going to tie a knot like that, And you guys know by now that when I say one knot, I mean at least two. Okay, now I'm going to start crocheting over that tail. So I'm going to lay it on top of the stitches that I'm about to put single crochets into. So I've chained one, and remember, go into the same space that you slip stitched into. So I slip stitched into that space right there, which was into that first single crochet of this round, which is there. So I'm going to go back in there, lay that tail on top, yarn over, pull through to the front, yarn over, go through two. Alright, and I'm just going to put one single crochet in every single crochet of the round below, crocheting over that tail so that I don't have to weave it in later, because yeah, it's a pain. I heard one crochet tuber say that she was saying how basically she hated weaving in the tails, and she would definitely need like a glass of wine if she had just like so many tails to weave in at once. So she tries to, you know, weave her tails in as she goes, and I thought that was hilarious because it's so true. Like, it's such a pain to have to do. Alright, so now I'm done crocheting over that tail, so the rest of these single crochets will just be regular. I mean, they've all been regular, but I don't have to worry about placing that tail on top as I complete my single crochet. So just continue putting single crochets all the way around, and I will meet you back here. Okay, we're now back around. There's that chain one, and that's the first single crochet. We're going to slip stitch into that. At this point, you could chain one, cut your yarn, fasten off, and then weave in that tail. Okay, and you would have this nice beanie, this nice ponytail beanie with that little stripe of black and a nice hole for the ponytail. Okay, this will be a nice messy bun beanie. But I am going to go one step further. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this now into the mix, and I'm going to crochet around this. The reason that I'm going to do that is so that this opening, it never gets too big for my head, and instead it will close up because I'm going to be crocheting around this. So I'll have this, which can open wider to fit your hair through, but then I'm also going to add this band, so this edge will also be banded so that it fits on your head, around your head, and is in no danger of slipping off. As I said, you don't have to do this. We could be done at this point, and you would have a nice messy bun ponytail beanie, and it is beautiful as it is. But if you want to go a step further, keep watching. Alright, so to make sure that everything is set up properly, we want our band to be like this, right? But it's important to make sure that the yarn doesn't get tangled or found on the wrong side of this band. So we're going to take our loop and pull our yarn, the skein, through the loop like that. So see how now the yarn is on the other side, and then we have the band there. Okay, so you want it so that the yarn is on the back side of this band, so that when we pull the yarn from the back, we're crocheting around the stretchy band. Okay, so you'll have crochet hook, then band, then yarn, which is coming from the skein. And now we're just going to start to crochet the row like normal. Okay, so we have the band. We slip stitched already, so now we chain one, and notice once we chain one, we are sealing in the band there. Okay, so now the band is a part of that stitch, and it's important to make sure that the band stays the same way. We don't want it to get tangled. Okay, so just like with any other row, we put our first single crochet in the same stitch that we slip stitched into, which is there. So we'll go in there, let that band kind of rest there, yarn over, pull through to the front. We have 2 loops, yarn over, go through 2. And now we're essentially just crocheting over the band, okay? Kind of like we were crocheting over those tails. We're just now crocheting over the band. So when you were crocheting over those tails so that you didn't have to do it later, little did you know you were getting good practice for this step. Okay? So just go in every single crochet of the round below and crochet a single crochet in it. Keep doing that, and I will catch up with you a little bit later. Okay, so I just want to show you that you might be getting to this point, right? You're crocheting and then you're thinking, oh, I don't have enough elastic band for all of these stitches over here. It's okay. As you crochet more and more, it's going to leave less and less of the band. And all you're going to need to do is stretch out the band to expose more of it as you crochet the stitches. Okay? So don't worry about the fact that this band doesn't go all the way out there. Just stretch the band as you need when you're crocheting your single crochets around it, and you'll be fine. Okay, so I'm at this point where it's getting a little bit tough because I'm running not really out of elastic band, but I'm running out of non-stretched out elastic band. But it's okay. I'm just going to continue putting single crochets around the band and every single crochet of the row below. And as I need to stretch the band out so that I can put a single crochet around it, I will. So don't panic about that. See how I'm stretching the band out, and then that's giving me a place to put that single crochet. See? There's more than enough room for all of those stitches. Okay? So just keep going around with the single crochets, placing them on the band. We're almost done, you guys. See? That wasn't so bad, was it? Alright, 2 more stitches. And then here's the last one. Make sure you crochet over that elastic band there. And now, as we've done all along, bypass that chain 1, go into the first single crochet, which is there. And slip stitch. Alright, all the way through. Chain 1, cut your yarn, and pull through, fasten off. Alright. Now we're going to weave in that tail. It helps to kind of, especially when you're working with bulky or chunkier yarns, just kind of roll it tightly and then feed it through like that. Okay? And we're just going to go through some stitches. I am going to, bring it on the inside. So this is the inside. I'm going to bring it in and go down like that. Okay. Now I could, and normally I would go through these stitches here, but that elastic band is there, so I don't really want to interfere. I don't want to accidentally poke the band or get part of that. So I'm going to go down to this row of turquoise that's just below it, and I'm going to weave my yarn through those stitches. Just go through how many ever you want in one direction. Try not to split the yarn though. Alright, pull through. And then turn this around and go back in the other direction. Alright, like right there. That's good. Okay. And now I'm going to go up like that, and then I'm going to, with this little loop that I have not closed shut, I'm going to bring that back through there, and it's going to tie a knot for me. Okay. And this is what you guys have. So this right here, that's just a piece of a tail that we were crocheting over. You can cut that down so that it's no longer poking out like that. But yeah, guys, this right here is our awesome Messy Bun Ponytail Beanie, okay? And yeah, obviously that's the back, so if I fold this around. Alright, you guys, so after folding it around, this is what you have. This is the front. There's the opening for the ponytail. If you want to see the back, this is what the back looks like. I kind of like that little design that those series of slip stitches made. It's kind of cute. That's where the tail is. I always leave a little bitty short tail, kind of serves as the tag, which I think is cool. But the best part, hands down, the best part about this ponytail beanie, besides the fact that it's a ponytail beanie, is this part right here, this edge. The fact that it stretches open, so it'll stretch open onto your head, and then as it gets on your head, it'll close up a little bit, and you don't have to worry about this edge becoming out of shape or too big for your head or slipping. It wouldn't really slip completely off your head anyway, because this ponytail, the hair that you have coming out of here, will keep it on your head, but this is just an extra added security. And yeah, I kind of like things to fit snugly. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this tutorial. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment section. Let me know how you like this pattern. I think it's a beautiful Messy Bun Ponytail Beanie. And yeah, that is it for this video. I will definitely see you in the next one. In the meantime, happy crocheting.